The 52 F-35A aircraft took off from the Hill Air Force Base in Utah, U.S., in an exercise carried out by the active-duty 388th and Reserve 419th Fighter Wings. The U.S. Air Force has today launched more than 50 fully armed Lightning II stealth fighters in a single wave. The 52 F-35A aircraft, worth a whopping $4.2 billion (£3.19 billion), took off in quick succession from the Hill Air Force Base in Utah. The exercise carried out by the active-duty 388th and Reserve 419th Fighter Wings displayed the Air Force's huge strength and sends a warning to Iran. The U.S. continues to brace for Iran to respond to the drone strike killing of its most powerful general, Qasem Soleimani. "We're ready to fly, fight, and win," the 419th Fighter Wings tweeted after the exercise. They added, "The exercise pushed the boundaries and tested our airmen's ability to deploy the F-35 as en masse." The 388th Fight Wingers said, "The exercise, which was planned for months, demonstrated their ability to employ a large force of F-35s, testing readiness in the areas of personnel accountability, aircraft generation, ground operations, flight operations, and combat capability against air and ground targets." A little more than 4 years after receiving their first combat-coded F-35A Lightning II aircraft, Hill's fighter wings have achieved full warfighting capability. Each F-35A fighter is worth about $89.2 million (£67 million). The U.S. received its first F-35A at the Hill Air Force Base 4 years ago. Since then, the fighter wings have been training pilots, engaging in multiple large combat exercises and supporting 2 Middle East combat deployments. Colonel Stephen Bemer, 388th Fighter Wing Commander, said, "Every training opportunity, exercise, and deployment we've completed over the past 4 years has been a key stepping stone in reaching full warfighting capability. This is just the beginning of sustained F-35A combat operations, and we will remain focused on staying ready to deploy whenever, wherever we're needed." Last night, Iranian advisor Hossamuddin Ashina tweeted a link to a Forbes article listing all properties owned by the U.S. president. On the 6th of January, the Defense Department is sending 6 B-52 bombers to the Diego Garcia military base in the northern Indian Ocean as preparations for possible military action against Iran move forward. Pentagon officials told CNN on Monday that the B-52 will be available for operations against the Islamic Republic if ordered into action, though the deployment does not signal a decision has been made about any attack plans. The United States maintains several military bases in a number of Middle Eastern countries in close proximity to Iran, but it chose to deploy its bombers to Diego Garcia because it is out of reach of Iran's longest-range missiles, according to the Pentagon. This is the second time in the last year that the American military has deployed B-52 bomber aircraft to the region due to rising tensions with Iran. In May, the White House ordered 6 B-52s to deploy to an American military base in Qatar as well as other bases in Southwest Asia after it received reports of alleged threats from Iran. Diego Garcia is a large atoll that hosts a U.S. military base. The atoll is located about 1,000 miles off the southern tip of India. A Pentagon official told CNN on Monday that aircraft are being deployed to Diego Garcia this time in order to keep the planes out of the range of Iranian missiles. The Americans have been using the base for more than 50 years. Iran, which has vowed revenge against the U.S. for the drone strike which killed the commander of the elite Quds Force, Qasem Soleimani, has the capability to reach several American bases, ports, and other installations in the region. The American military footprint in the Middle East and Central Asia includes approximately 14,000 troops in Afghanistan, 13,000 soldiers in Kuwait, 13,000 more in Qatar, 7,000 in Bahrain, 6,000 in Iraq, 5,000 in the United Arab Emirates, 3,000 in Saudi Arabia, 3,000 in Jordan, and 2,500 in Turkey. There are much smaller troop levels in Syria and Oman, according to The Washington Post. In total, Iran could conceivably strike at areas that would place more than 55,000 American soldiers at risk. Its ballistic missile arsenal includes weapons that are very difficult to target because they are either road mobile or hidden inside highly fortified mountain fortresses, according to the war zone. In the event of war between Iran and either the United States or its Sunni Arab allies, the Iranians would only need a few minutes to launch ballistic missiles from subterranean strongholds. Iran could hit American bases, airfields, and other key sites. That is why the Pentagon would most likely rely on its fleet of strategic bombers based in Diego Garcia. If war did break out with Iran, the U.S. has at its disposal machines of war like the B-52 and the B-2 Spirit bombers that can unleash devastating blows. The Americans would most likely deploy the B-2s to drop precision-guided 40,000-pound bunker buster GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrators (MOPs), which are specially designed to pierce through Iran's mountain complexes. There has been no indication from the Pentagon that it has forward-deployed B-2s with Iran in mind. The deployment of the B-52s comes amid tensions in the region stoked by the killing of Soleimani in Baghdad on Friday. Iraq's parliament called on Sunday for the U.S. and other foreign troops to leave as a backlash grows against the strike. The United States Air Force currently has 76 B-52 Stratofortress bombers in service today. Designed and built by the Seattle-based Boeing Company, the B-52 is a long-range strategic bomber that has been used by the Air Force since the 1950s. It is capable of carrying up to 70,000 pounds of weapons while flying at a combat range of more than 8,800 miles without aerial refueling. This heavy bomber is powered by 8 turbofan engines manufactured by Pratt & Whitney. Each engine is capable of producing 17,000 pounds of thrust to propel the plane forward in the air. The B-52 also boasts a wingspan of 185 feet. Each aircraft has a length measuring 159 feet 4 inches. The plane stands at a height of 40 feet 8 inches. The aircraft weighs approximately 185,000 pounds. It can take off at a maximum weight of 488,000 pounds. To fly its long-range bombing missions, it needs fuel, a lot of it. Each B-52 has a fuel capacity of 312,197 pounds. The plane is a subsonic aircraft that can reach speeds of 650 miles per hour. It can also fly at a top altitude of 50,000 feet. President Donald Trump responded on Sunday by doubling down on threats to target Iranian cultural sites if Tehran retaliates.